Knowing where your steak comes from out here in the cow-calf operation, all the way through to the packers and even eventually on your plate. That is the message from Cool, country of origin labeling. You can go to the grocery store and find out exactly where your food comes from. Some say this is a great marketing tool. Others say it's a waste of time and money, even hurting the beef industry. We're going to take a look at both sides of the issue. Colin Wildahl at NCBA in Washington, D.C. joins us now. So Colin, when it comes to Cool, at first it sounds like it's a benefit, not just to educate consumers, but also help out to market U.S. beef. So what is happening? Is that actually happening?
The general premise is that by putting a product of the United States on a package of steaks, that our consumers would go for those steaks over any other opportunities. They would pay a premium for that product and hopefully would come back time and time again. The unfortunate matter is that Cool is a mandatory government-run program, and unfortunately they just aren't very good at marketing our product. So reality has been labels that have very small type. It's hard to find on the package of steaks in the grocery store, and we have not seen the consumer really react to country of origin labeling since it's been implemented since 2008.
What about the other side of Cool? Canada, for instance, creating some tension there, and some cattle producers I've talked to say Cool is a waste of time. In fact, it will even result in the industry losing money and trade. Can you explain that a little bit more?
We are concerned not only about Canada, but also about Mexico, because they both took our Cool program and took us to the World Trade Organization saying that Cool violates the trade agreements that we currently have in place with both countries. The WTO so far has ruled in their favor. Because of that, it sets up a scenario where probably sometime next fall, both Canada and Mexico could retaliate against us as United States producers. Now, a lot of people don't realize that when you're talking about retaliation, that means that these countries can put tariffs or completely shut us out of their markets. And for the past several years, Canada and Mexico have been two of our top 5 markets for the export of U.S. beef. So they are big customers of ours, and if we lose access or have tariffs placed on our product, it's going to have a negative impact on our bottom line as U.S. producers.
Obviously, the packers are probably not too keen about it either, right?
When you look at the packers, whenever there are additional costs, whether it's segregation or paperwork, which Cool causes right now, those costs are typically passed back up the chain. And the people that are at that side of the chain are the producers. Very rarely does the majority of this cost get passed down to the consumers. So right now we are seeing a scenario where it's the producers who are really bearing the burden of the implementation of country of origin labeling, whether it's through costs being passed back up or discounts being paid on cattle depending on their origin, but more importantly, the fact that this is a mandatory program that is incurring costs at all segments of our industry and ultimately is really not providing any information that the consumer is paying attention to.
Is there any way to know how consumers are responding to Cool or will respond once they realize what it is and how to read it? Or is it not worth it?
Of course, when Cool was put in place, the consumer really was the focus. And since Cool has been in place since 2008, we've had a great opportunity to compile data that shows how the consumer has reacted. And most recently, Kansas State University put out a study where they really looked at how the consumer is reacting to Cool. Most consumers would tell you that they would like to know where their beef comes from, but what we found through the Kansas State study is once they go into the grocery store, all of a sudden there are other things that take a priority over Cool, things such as price, how many steaks are in a package, how pretty and rosy red our product looks like. And so what they found is the majority of the consumers, one, either didn't know that Cool was already on the package, and most of them definitely were not factoring that into their purchasing decision.
And we want to hear from you. What do you think? Go to our poll question. It's online at nebraska.tv. Stay with us. We have our Grow Forecast coming up next, and later on, someone who had a big impact on the cattle industry, and she used her autism as an advantage. We'll be back.